Since we ticked over into 2025, there has been a lot of talk around 2027 being the year of open contact. Now, you may remember that I posted a video about 3 months ago describing the 2027 to 2033 timeline of open contact, and that was a direct channeled message. But that took place before the election of Donald Trump. And like him or not, since then, the energetics have definitely been enhanced. The timeline for open contact has moved forward. Now, we have had some really high-profile personnel in the ufology community, such as Elena Danaan. A number of psychics and channels also verify that 2027 is looking like the likely timeline for open contact. So, of course, we have to do the same. And today we are going to go back into that 2027 to 2033 timeline and check in on it since the election of Donald Trump, since 2025 has begun, to see what has shifted and to gain some perspective. Is open contact going to happen by 2027? Stay tuned to find out. Before we get into the video today, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. And if you love spiritual work, channeled messages, and galactic updates, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel. We are just about to reach 200 subscribers, and I have decided to do a 300 subscriber giveaway. The way this is going to work is that anyone who comments on one of my videos between now and when I reach 300 subscribers will automatically go into a draw to win a free psychic channeled session with me. And if you're already subscribed, don't worry. All you have to do is comment on at least one of my videos between this one and when we reach 300 subscribers, and you'll be automatically entered into that draw to win. Guys, it's been a few weeks since I posted my last channel video, and that's because I have had quite a lot of changes going on. I'm going to be moving soon in the next month or so to a completely different state within Australia. But not only that, I have had a bunch of updates with working with galactic races, particularly the Andromedan race. Now, I haven't worked with the Andromedan race before 2025, but very early on in the year, the Andromedan Star Nation made contact with me when I was in a deep meditation, and I have been working with them and communicating with them many times since then, so that I can strengthen that connection to them. They are the beings that I'm going to be tuning in with to bring through this information, and rather than it being directly channeled through me, instead the way it works with them is they telepathically communicate through me, through the psychic centers, and then I will relay the information in real time to you. I am so excited to get into this. I've been in meditation for the last 20 minutes before even coming in to start recording, so we are ready to see what they have to say. Every time that I meet them, they take me through this wash of light. That's the only thing I can describe it. It's like, in order to even just be in their energetic presence, I move through this wall of light so that I can then have my frequency raised and uplifted so that it's easier for me to hold the connection with them. We are here. That's what they're telling me. We are here. We are here. They're ready to go. All right, here we go. So we're here with the Andromedan Council, and I'm super excited to have this conversation with them. And I would just like to openly hand over to them to see what they want to say. I'm happy for them to relay the message to me, and I will say it directly back. We are also very excited to be here. We understand that what is taking place in the world right now is a lot for many people, that there is a lot of trepidation in the frequency that is going on. There is a lot of unknowns. There is a lot of overwhelm in the collective upon the earth plane. And it is our absolute pleasure to be able to support an upliftment of you all, everyone that tunes into this communication today. So we are here to verify this information of a so-called 2027 open contact. And we understand that Andreas was previously speaking to a timeline that he had tuned into, which was back in your year of 2024, and which we can say with pure delight and excitement that that has indeed accelerated into this 2027 to 2029 portal. This is when we believe that the likelihood of an open contact is the most likely to occur. Now, This is not to say that timelines can't shift, because we know that they do. However, it is fairly rest assured, we would categorically state, for the purpose of this transmission with Andreas, that yes, there is a very high likelihood, and we are actually showing Andreas an 85%, because he asked us to show him a percentage, and we would happily oblige that it is within the realm of 85% of a likelihood that this is going to occur within the 2027 to 2029 paradigm on earthly years. Now, by open contact, we mean that there will be evidence of contact with us and with other Earth-like beings, such as the Pleiadian beings. They're the race that we know, many are familiar with, and therefore the Pleiadian beings will be the ones that will be leading the charge, so to speak, amongst other representatives, of course. However, you will see that many Earth-like or human-like beings will be presented to you before others come in, and we are going to come in shortly after that. The Andromedan Council have agreed with your own leaderships in the Earth plane at this time that it is best for us to come in at a slightly later date, because our features are slightly less human-like and could therefore turn you off this expansion of your consciousness that we are excited to be supporting you with. This is a re-welcoming you and the human race back into your galactic proficiency. And this is somewhere that you have been as a species before, but in time you have forgotten that. You have forgotten it so much that the very concept of this seems almost scientifically fictitious to you, and yet it is not. This is a grand reawakening and a grand remembering of who you are as galactic soul beings, as galactic stellar beings who are here to have an expansive interstellar experience of this time in your lifetime. Now, there isn't going to be open contact between individuals, as though we are not going into your lounge rooms or going into your local communities and having barbecues and parties and events with you. That is to come later on. However, there will be an open contact in that it will be clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that here we are and that we exist with you, amongst you, for you, as galactic brothers and sisters of the light. Now, in the time of the 2033 window that Andreas was speaking to before, he has just asked us to confirm whether or not there is an update on that side of the coin. Well, what happens after the open contact is made? And this we are willing to explain to you within some form of detail. However, the fullness of that cannot be known until we reach that point within your own earthly years. Because the way that you respond, the way that as a collective you respond to open contact, is going to determine the outcomes of how quickly this can expand into having parties and barbecues in your local communities with intergalactic beings, into you visiting our star nations, into upgrading your technology to the point that that is possible. So we will be going as quickly or as slowly as earthly beings, as earth souls are willing, ready, able, and wanting for that to occur. Now, the 2033 window is no longer necessary, in that it has moved so far forward, and this is coming as a surprise to Andreas, that Andreas here, I kind of just paused that because I was asking them, like, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean the 2033 window isn't relevant anymore? And they were saying it's moved forward, and the 2029 is kind of the bookend of that experience. So 2027 to 2029 now is the window, and it's become a lot shorter. And I'm struggling to really see what comes after that. I was trying to tune into, like, well, what comes after that? And as they were describing, they're not really that open right now, at least with me, to describe more of what's to come. But let's see what they want to say. I'm happy for them to, again, chat. They're basically chatting to me, and then I'm relaying that in real time. So this isn't a channel in that I've been doing a lot of work on getting away from channeling and letting another entity kind of move into my my stream of consciousness, but rather it's like I'm just having a conversation with them telepathically, and then I'm speaking it in real time. I find that's the easiest way for me to not muddle the message, because if I just let it come through me as thoughts and images only, and then I try and extrapolate or interpret that, I find it really challenging, because then my brain gets in the way and then I start doubting the whole process and then it gets all messy. So I found that working with the Andromedan team in this way is the easiest way for me to portray the information. So I'm just going to tune into them again. Yeah, so what they're saying now is that they're showing me fireworks, and I mean, I'm curious, why are we seeing fireworks here? The celebration. It's the celebration that humanity will take when this occurs. And again, they're saying, let's not focus so much on what happens after the open contact. Let's not so much focus on, well, then what next, and then what next, and then what next, because it's better to focus on where we are at right now. It's better to focus on this period now. And they really want us to take a moment to celebrate where we're at. I was about to curse because I'm excited. We are in a fundamentally pivotal. We are in a pivotal time, and for the window to shrink so quickly is tremendous. I'm going to get out of the way and just let them come through me as a pure stream now. Yeah, thank you, Andreas. We are supportive of your messaging, and ultimately we trust you to lead us in this conversation. Ultimately, we are of the impression that humanity has done its due diligence to access this state of consciousness. This is not training wheels. This is not some form of babying. We don't see you as lesser than us. We don't see you as somehow inferior to us, because in actuality, you are ready to join your galactic family. This is the point that you have reached in your timeline. And when you have the open contact, your star codes, the codes inside of your cells, are going to open, and you're going to remember. Right now, it feels like the prospect of an open contact is so terrifying and so awe-inspiring and so, oh my gosh, how could I possibly live up to the impressiveness of a galactic being? They're so much better than I. And this is not the case. We are of equal value. We are all a universal God spark. We are all consciousness in motion. And therefore, it will be a lot easier than you realize and expect to tune into your galactic soul self, your galactic incarnated self. Because this is in your DNA. This is in your memory of being this type of being. You have been an intergalactic being in many lifetimes before you have incarnated onto the Earth lifetime. We're going to talk about this interim period, where you are at now, 2025 to 2027, what takes place. And what we show to Andreas is that it gets louder. The chaos that you're experiencing now, the intensity, the pressure that you're feeling now, this sense of the news cycle is moving so quickly, and every other day there's a new unfolding, there's a new change, there's a new law being passed or removed or revoked or altered in some way. It's going to continue to increase. Yeah. And now, so they're dropping me, Andreas here, they're dropping me back into really my sovereignty and my, I'm talking. They want me to do the talking here. So what they're showing me is that this chaos continues to expand, and you become the anchor of stability amongst that chaos. But that anchor of stability is going to become easier to access with every passing day, so long as you choose to come back into your stillness. So this is where, if you're not working with your higher self, if you're not working with meditation or some form of practice that is like anchoring you into a bit of stability, anchoring you into your higher self or your soul self or your center, getting centered, then it makes this next couple of years a lot harder than it needs to be. And that message has been coming through from pretty much every galactic team, angelic team, and my higher self team that I work with ever. Everyone says the same thing, is that They are urging you, and the Andromedan Council are saying the exact same thing. They are urging us to really prioritize recentering right now. Because your cells in this 2-year period are upgrading faster than they've ever upgraded. They're showing me the violet light, the violet flame light that is coming in and removing so much density and a lot of doubt. It's doubt that has held humanity back for such a long time. We doubt that this is possible. We doubt who we are, that we doubt that we're capable. We doubt what's out there because we have been fed lies. And it is time for those lies to be exposed. It is time for us to open our hearts and open our truth to the reality of who we are as a star being nation. And it's incoming. All right, let's tune into the timeline a little bit more specifically from the Andromedan perspective. I don't know if they're going to give me anything here. Let's just see what they say about it. I want to go step by step, and I'm going to break it down into 4 chunks. So the first half of 2025, the second half, first half of 2026, the second half, and then we'll just see what wants to come through. So they're going to just, what I'm seeing psychically now is a graph. I'm seeing a graph of the energetics. Okay, so that's interesting. I'm seeing something along this graph, which is just making me go, bleh. I'm seeing very much a similar thing to what's going on right now, continuing up until late this year. Like I'm feeling around October. And what I say by that is that this like intensity in the news cycle is sticking around, right? So it's like, you know, this month we've had LA bushfires, and that's felt like so crazy, right? And not only that, we've had all kinds of things going on. And I'm just talking about the US alone, let alone internationally, what's going on. But this intensity of like constant like drama, constant events, natural disasters, it's like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. That continues all the way through to around October. And then there's some form of like pivotal one. There's like a big one, and it stops. It creates a break in the energetic timeline. So what I see is bottoms out, like big time bottoms out. So then there's this gap, and what I'm interpreting intuitively here is this is likely when we're going to experience that global slowdown that came through channel about 6 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. I'll link the video to it as well so that you can check that out if it interests you. But what I'm seeing is some form of break in the energy, which could last, what I'm seeing is up to 3 months. Like that could take us, and in fact further, that could take us even into January of 2026, February of 2026, it starts to ease out. Now that timeline isn't secured either, because as always, free will choice, baby. Our consciousness decides what we are collectively experiencing every moment to moment. We are rewriting the script. So what I'm tuning into now may change, just as that 2027 to 2033 window has now jumped into a 2027 to 29 window. 29 and 9? Girl, we don't want that. We want 2029. So this is why that holding on to your constancy is so important. And if you're like, I have no idea what to do or where to go, then think about doing one of my free meditations. They're all on Insight Timer. It's a free app. It is a great way for you to just have something that you can connect into your center every day. You don't have to pay a penny for it. And it's a really great place to start. If you are not meditating or doing some form of practice, it is time to start doing that. The more we anchor our higher dimensional self, the easier it becomes for us. The more we can navigate this up and down cycle. Now, we have this like slowdown. There's some sort of like lockdown potentially. There's something that stops us in our tracks, quite literally stops us in our tracks. We slow down across the globe. And then when we move into the earlier 2026 time, again, we're talking March. I'm just in my third eye, I'm literally dragging that timeline into my focus now so I can read the chart. Otherwise, I'm going to be reading out over there. I don't know, that's just how my brain sees it. So give me a moment to just tune in and see and plot the graph. Okay, so again, Okay, so what I'm seeing here now is that after that slowdown, we gradually come back into a sense of normalcy, but it's not over yet. There's more intensity, and I'm seeing but the intensity is more. The jumps are bigger. It's like where the spikes were this before, it's like even more dramatic, even more dramatic, even more dramatic. But there is a little bit more time between these announcements. And what I'm feeling is that these announcements are likely going to be, from what I can see in this now moment, these are likely going to be the preparatory announcements that are preparing our nervous system to take the open contact. Whereas before, this year, predominantly, we're experiencing chaos. We're experiencing collapse of the old system. We're experiencing that late capitalism collapse. And all of the stuff, all of the exposure that is coming our way. After this slowdown in the October to February period, October this year to February next year period, this is where we get less announcements. They're not as frequent, but they're like earth-shatteringly, soul-rocking, ass falling out of your body type announcement experiences. These are the ones where your mum and dad, your auntie Bessie, your best friend who doesn't believe you, thinks it's all bullshit, that's when they go, holy crap, I can't bury my head in the sand anymore. Interestingly, they are showing me that some will still do that. It's like, even though it's there, like red in the face, some will still bury their head in the sand and just go, it's too much for me. Like, I'm opting out. I just can't deal. They're going to have a hard time. Yeah, they're going to have a hard time because they're not going to know what's up or down, what reality is doing. Pretty much no one does at that point in time, but they're really not. And that's because those people have not even tried to connect into their higher self center. The higher self, your soul, is what navigates this with grace. Your ego does not. Your ego don't know. It won't know how to process this because we are moving into a fifth dimensional frequency or higher. Therefore, that requires us to embody that. It gets really exciting around the end of 2026 because that's when all of these big mind-boggling announcements have taken place and we've been able to calibrate them as a species, as a society, and then we are in the lead up to the launch. We are in the lead up to this 2027 timeframe where at some point along that year, we are going to receive the announcement. Now, I'm going to go ahead and be bold and look into that timeline as well. So I'm just going to pull 2027 into my focus, and where is it? Okay, so I'm seeing that announcement taking place around mid-year. What I'm seeing is April 2027. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just speaking to what I can see in the energetic timeline right now. But that's where the wind, I don't even really see a window, but like I guess like, hang on a sec. The back end of it is September 2027. So sometime between April and September. But at this point, it's April, girl. It is April, May, June. Like September feels like it's last resort sort of situation here. It definitely feels like that predominancy is within the April 2027 timeframe. If things change, I'll be sure to let you all know. So make sure you subscribe if you want to be kept up to date to that information. Because just like we're rewriting the 2027 to 2033 video, these things change as we collectively raise our vibration. And I know that right now it may not feel like our vibration is very high, but it is. It's higher than it's ever been. Collectively, it is higher than it has ever been, and it's only raising higher. There is no turning back. It doesn't go lower. It doesn't go into darkness unless you choose as an individual to believe that, to create that, and to kind of like give up. Yeah, to look for the negativity, to go, oh, well, it's all screwed and I'm destroyed. So it really is up to you to create to be sovereign in your responses to the world right now, because it's tempting to go down the dark path. Now, that's not to say you're not allowed to have bad days. That's not to say you won't have tumultuousness in your emotional field. Of course, I've had so much of that recently, and that's why my practices have helped me so much to stay grounded and not just like collapse completely. All right, so that's amazing. I just feel so excited by that. And I would like to just put out a call for anything after the 2027. They're not giving me much, but what they're showing me is that they're going, wow, you're an eager beaver. They're kind of smiling, and I don't know if laughing is the right word for it, but they're excited by my enthusiasm. And that is really opening up their energy as well. And they are saying, you will be delighted beyond anything that you could have ever imagined. You will be living in a dream. And that is enough. That is enough for me right now. I hope that at some point I'll be able to say a little bit more about what's coming through, but it seems like this message was about what is now. If you have any questions that you want me to ask them, if you are curious about anything, pop them below in the comments. And that'll also enter you into that free session experience. Share this video with anyone that you think might be interested in it. And if they subscribe, then they're also going to enter into that. I'm really excited to continue building this community because now is the time. Yeah, this is the time that we are entering our galactic age. And I am ready to absolutely put on my Star Trek spacesuit girl. We are here for it. We are claiming it. We have a responsibility to be diligent in that, because otherwise your alternative is you kind of just get ripped up by the pants and you get the biggest wedgie ever because the energy just pulls you way up and you're not ready for it. It's like, whoa, this kind of hurts a little bit, you know? So the more that you choose you and choose to connect to your higher self and your soul frequency, baby, the easier this is going to be and the more exciting it's going to be, because you don't have to come to me. You are absolutely able to do this as well. You can absolutely connect into your team. You can absolutely connect into any Star Nation race that you want to, that you feel connected to, when you open up your psychic abilities, when you open up your spiritual abilities. This is all coming in for us. This is all coming in for us. I'm just sending you a bunch of love. I'm so excited by this announcement of open contact in 2027. That is what so many of us have been feeling. That is what so many of us have been hoping for and wanting. And to receive a confirmation like this from the Andromedan team is absolute pure delight. I'm so thankful. I'm just bowing to the Andromedan team. Thank you for coming in. They are interestingly shaking my hand, very diplomatic of them to be shaking their hand. Actually, now we're doing like this beautiful third eye kiss in a way. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are of the light, you are of the light, and through the light we continue to raise the vibration of the collective of the earth plane. It is through you and only through you that this can take place. It is through you and only through you that this can take place. The Ascension needs you. It is for you, by you, and created through you. Until next time, stay awake in the game, my friends, and I will see you in the next one.